Right, you see? For example, this one. What's your technique for this one? Hop! I'm still holding. What happened for you? I'm still holding. Anyway, you break that already. But okay, steady for that. If I release this one, what happened? Alright, when I hold this one, what happened? Then, which is? Okay,
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to FMA Discussion. This is episode 427. And today we are featuring Master, we'll go with Master instead of Maestro, Terryl Richardson. And he's going to be talking to us about smoking sticks and the difference between DSS and a bunch of other stuff and all that. We're going to hear about his journey in there, and plus he's got some upcoming seminars, a trip to the Philippines, and all that good stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to be bringing him up. If you're watching, please tell us where you're watching from. Smash that like button, and we're just about to get started. Here we go. Hey, sir, how are you? Did you like the opening vid?
You know, every time I see that, I laugh because most people may not know that Grandmaster Odell is truly a funny guy. He is funny.
I did hear that. Yeah, I figure, what I do is normally we have kind of like an opening song, but if there's a good video that somebody sends me, I like to open up with them. Just, gives a little more context to who we're interviewing, especially if it's with their instructor and that. I think it's a nice way to kind of bridge into the interview. So, and you sent one, and I thought it was pretty good. So, and it wasn't too long, and it wasn't too short. So, goal was accomplished on that. And yeah, I could definitely see the prankster in him. Do you have one for this one?
And then you notice, of course, he said, and now we kiss.
Yeah, and at the end, after you're all need a complete adjustment. So, officially, welcome to the show. I want to thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. I mean, listen, I'm very honored to be on this show because I have seen your show so much and seen so many of the wonderful guests that you've had on your show. I'm like, wow, he wants me on the show. I'm like, this is big to me. So thank you very much for
my God. Well, again, I really appreciate those words. I mean, one of the things that we strive for is all that was not, we don't look for just the quote unquote huge names. And, what it is too, through this journey of mine, I've gotten to know through the journey of doing FMA Discussion, to be more specific, is that there's some folks I just didn't know. And through like doing interviews or hearing about people, I saw you on Tim's. I'm like, we got to get this guy on. And so a lot of times it comes like that. It's not like you probably would have came out a lot sooner had I known about you or been exposed to you and all that. Okay. So yeah, honored to have you. And thank you for taking the time to do this on a Sunday. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So, all right. Before we get into the good stuff of FMA and all that, why don't you just give us just a general background, I guess, of your martial arts journey pre-FMA?
Pre-FMA. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Dean.
Sure.
I got into martial arts by pure accident.
Okay.
Pure accident. I was supposed to be a boxer, okay? I was a boxer. Okay, I have 9 uncles, and I think 7 of them box. And out of the 7, one of them was really good, and he went into the Army, became all Army, all Armed Forces. Then he went to the Pan American Games in '67, and then he went to the Olympics in 1968, and he was on the same team with George Foreman in Mexico. My uncle, his name was Harlan Marbley. He was the very first American to medal for the light flyweight division. And so that's how I got into the boxing thing, And I knew about boxing and knowing how to put on gloves and slipping punches before I even knew how to catch a football. Okay. Yeah. And so that was my thing. And I had a neighbor much older than I was, and his name was Anthony Graham. And he was, into what they call back then Kung Fu, And
Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, "So this stuff really work?" And he says, "Of course it works." I said, "Well, show me a little bit of it." So I'm over there boxing, and he's trapping my hands and back fisting me. I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold it. What are you doing?" He said, "That's Chinese boxing." Okay, boxing, I don't care. It looks nice. Show me a little bit of it.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up getting involved in martial arts, and I just stayed. It was like a duck to water, and so I got into the wushu, and then from wushu, it was into taekwondo, and then I went over to Germany. Ended up fighting professionally over in West Germany. Now I'm telling my age, West Germany.
Okay.
Because there's no longer West Germany or East Germany.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Berlin Wall was taken down. That's it.
Yes. So I was fighting professionally over there as an enlisted soldier, mind you. Okay. And I ended up coming back stateside, and eventually I ETS, got out. Ran across a very good friend of mine, childhood friend of mine. His name is Dr. Joe Parrish. He's very much into Tong Soo Do, and he actually said, "Hey, let me show you Tong Soo Do." So he got me into Tong Soo Do. I stayed in that, and then one time I said, one thing I noticed about all this punching and kicking, what if somebody joint locks me and throws me? What do I do? So I got involved in Hapkido and trained up under Grandmaster Serge Bobil up in Canada. And the system is called Hoshinkido Hapkido. And from there, I came back to America, and I was looking for a legitimate Hapkido schools. And a lot of schools back then weren't really legit Hapkido schools. They were more Taekwondo schools with a few judo throws, calling it Hapkido.
Okay.
So from there, I said, since I can't find legitimate Hapkido, maybe I might find a jiu-jitsu school. And I ran across one of my Masonic brothers, because I'm a Freemason, and he was telling me that he does Sanukas Ryu Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. So I got into Sanukas Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, and that's the system that Dr. Moses Powell. Dr. Moses Powell founded. And Dr. Moses Powell, his background, of course, has a lot of other little things in it, but most importantly, Sanukas Ryu Jiu-Jitsu has a FMA influence because of his teacher, Grand Professor Vizier Chong. So the system was a lot of FMA involved in it. So I got into the Sanukas Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, and my very first experience with, like, I just want to say, the sticks or anything was my old wushu instructor, Grandmaster Anthony Graham. He was showing me some of these locks with the sticks, and I said, "Well, we do some of the same locks, but with the empty hands." Yeah. So that's when I got involved in a little bit into the FMA, because he learned some FMA from Danny Santo.
Who's that?
And then I got involved with a good friend of mine also. His name is Chuck Jeffries, and Chuck Jeffries was very much involved with Danny Santo as well. Okay. So that was my first little moment of dabbling in FMA. And so later I got involved with Balinkawak under Grandmaster Bobby Taboda.
Okay.
So I trained with him, and I completed the system with him. But I'm always looking for something saying, here's the thing, Dean. I look at everything that I train in, and I say, where's the weakness at? I find a weakness or maybe a flaw and say, but I don't have this. And so I said, well, let me see if I can find something that I can get. And just by chance, Grandmaster Odell DeGoop was doing a seminar in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And I had on my nice Balinkawak t-shirt and everything, Yeah. And he was teaching a technique, and everybody, they was like we got it. Everybody, they scattered and they was practicing the technique. I'm still looking at him standing there, and he's looking at me, said, "You have it?" I said, "I have it, but can you do that technique to me?" So he did it to me, and I reversed it, and he laughed. He said, "Oh, very good." And he reversed my technique.
Okay.
Then I turned around and reversed him, and then he reversed me, and then I couldn't get out of the lock. So that's
counter,
how
counter.
Yes. So that's how I got involved with Grandmaster Odell DeGoop, and that's where I'm at today, because his system is, to me, it's a very complete system. It incorporates a lot of empty hands and, you know, joint locks and throws and knees and kicks, along with, you know, single and double sticks and blades. So that was more to my liking, because it was a very complete form of combat to me. So that's why I'm with him today. Yes.
So I'm just gonna back up a bit. Here, we got some folks saying hello. I don't want to miss out on this, which sometimes I do, and I neglect this area of acknowledgement. We have Eric O'Brien, crazy Eric from Florida, my student. Civic duty, Eric. We got Chris Nally from Georgia. He's another one supposed to be coming on here. We got you from Germany. We got, Billy Jewell from Philippines. You know her. Yeah,
I know Billy.
From Alaska. He's thanking you for your service.
Thank you.
We got Terry from Stockton. And we got Tom from Maryland.
My brother.
Yeah. Tom's a good guy.
And for Mr. Kramer in Deutschland, I would say Guten Abend, mein Freund, because I know it's evening time over there for them, so I would say Guten Abend, mein Freund.
Yes, they got to be at least 6 hours ahead from us, correct?
Yes.
All right, so just going to back up just a bit, because what I'm curious about, I want to know, is you coming from this very traditional background of martial arts, when you were exposed to, which was at first the anasano blend, what like stood out? Like, here you're going from these traditional systems, punch, kick, locks, you know, what have you, and now you're being exposed to this weapons and this, you know, more this circular movement and what have you, and all that. Like, was there like, what was your mental inventory at the time? Like, what resonated with you, in, you know, as far as this contrast, if you will?
Well, I was coming from traditional systems, but also understand now in Hapkido, we have what we call the circle theory.
Okay.
It's not so much rigid where it's back and forth. It's a circular motion in what we do, even in our throws and our locks, and also as well as in Sunuku's Rule Jiu-Jitsu. So the circular motion and movement was beautiful, and I could relate to that very easily. What I loved was the fact that I was seeing how they could take sticks and apply these same locks that I was doing with empty hands.
Yeah, you were doing empty hands. Gotcha.
That's what really stuck. I'm like, wow, this is impressive, you know. And I was looking at how the knife work was being done, and I was like, okay, I like this, because it wasn't the traditional. Someone throws a knife, come at you, and you go into this, you know, this.
Yeah, they're like going.
Yeah, it wasn't that, you know.
You're doing your magic.
They're gonna stab you, leave the arm out. It wasn't happening. So I was like, I like this. Yeah. You know, it was more of a. It was more of something I would probably see in the street versus somebody just saying, "Here, I'm gonna stab you and do this." So that's what really stuck out with me, and that's why I kind of gravitated towards it. But I wasn't able to really get involved with it as much as I wanted to until I ran across Grandmaster Bobby Tabota. Right.
So that's your. Now, was there a lot of time separation between your initial exposure to Asano Blend to seeing GM Bobby? Or
yes. Oh, okay. I would say roughly maybe like 6 or 7 years.
Wow. Okay, so there was a pretty substantial gap of time then. Okay.
And I was told about, because matter of fact, what's funny, my buddy Tim Hartman was a part of this seminar. It was Tim Hartman, Bobby Tabota, Grandmaster Jaron, and Max Palin. Those were the 4.
Holy, so you had Max Palin. Huron.
Yes.
Which one? Which Huron? Leo?
The son. The
Oh,
son.
the son, Mike. Okay,
Yeah.
so no, yeah, but still, I mean, so Max Pound, GM Mike, son of Leo.
Correct.
Datu Tim Hartman, which needs no introduction.
Right.
Tim is
Right.
bigger in life. And then another bigger in life, GM Bobby.
Bobby Tabota, yes.
Wow, those four in one room.
In one room. The event was called the Four Horsemen.
I can. Oh, Jim's here. I take that back, Tim. I didn't say anything. The legend. Here we go.
Yes,
the
yeah, the
Legends
Legend of
FMA
FMA tour. Yep, Tim know about it. Yes.
That's. I just what year about?
Oh my God. Maybe
It's
Tim.
not important. I'm just curious. Is all.
Yeah, maybe Tim can tell you.
Tim will be
I
able to
can't
tell me,
remember.
definitely.
It was years back.
He's
Yeah.
got a notebook on all this stuff. No, I'm just kidding. So, all right. So you're there. You're getting exposed to like.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that Tim set the tour up. I didn't realize it, but
yeah. He's very good
Tim
at that.
probably would be able to tell you the actual year that it happened.
Yeah,
but
he's
was,
very good at that coordination stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you had Tim
it was
Hartman out
great.
control Martinez. You had Bobby showing Balenta walk. You had obviously the Hiron system. Mike showing his father's system. Max Penn was showing mano cadena mano, empty hand stuff.
Yes.
See, man. Dude, by virtue of doing these interviews, I could. Wow. So you must have been like any matter of fact, you could have an experience. You could argue that you could be somewhat a seasoned FMA guy and still be incredibly overwhelmed by going to that.
Oh yes, easily.
Yeah.
Dean, let me tell you something. And I told Tim this. I was leaning towards actually saying,
we got the date. I'm sorry.
Here. Oh, 2013. Tim said 2013.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was leaning towards training with Dadu Tim. I said, yeah, I like the way this guy teach. But
he can control floor. He's got great floor presence.
But then Grandmaster Bobby Tabota came out. And I saw this speed and power, and I'm like, wow. And I'm like, okay. I said, yeah, that's the guy right there I want. I want him. So I called GM Bobby Tabota in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. Come down. So that's how it happened. Yeah.
So did you go, so with respects to GM Bobby, you went through all the first 6 levels, level 7, you kind of do your own thing, you're putting in part in, I forget the number of techniques.
I went through all levels except level 7. Level 7, he calls that the FQI.
He probably changed. I think he changed it. So it's not, well, don't quote me on this. It sounds like he changed it from what there, but but if you went through level 6, you completed the program.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
They call that. Matter of fact, on my certificate, it says completion of the system.
Gotcha.
And level 7 is something that if you want to be called a fully qualified instructor, I never felt the need for that because I was already instructing.
Yeah. It sounds like it also, and don't quote me on this, and this is only by virtue of doing interviews with him and some of his students. It sounds like that level 7 has definitely evolved, like far as the meaning and the significance of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring something up to level 6, and then you have to put in some of the techniques and
Mm-hmm. So that was pretty much how it came. I got my level 6, and like I said, I came involved with Grandmaster Bob.
So Pennsylvania. So what year does he come to Pennsylvania and you see him?
I want to say 2018.
Oh, 2018. So not that far ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
2018,
Six, like 5 or so years. Okay. All right. So what? So now pre-2018, seeing GM Rodell, were you still kind of like on the Balentawak lane, or were you kind of messing around with a little here or there, imparting?
No, I was still Balentawak.
Oh, Balentawak full on. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember, I told you I went to the seminar wearing a Balentawak t-shirt.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
I was diehard Balentawak.
So when you go to the seminar, you meet them. You guys are going through this lock flow and all that. What resonated with you where you knew you wanted to continue with GM Rodell? Like what what stood out that this is what you wanted to be? This is your next chapter in FMA.
Basically, I would say not only from the he and I going back and forth doing empty hand tappy tappy, I would say it was the way he incorporated and used his hands and his a lot of the stick work with the locks.
Okay.
I was familiar with, and see, here's the thing. It wasn't so much that Grandmaster Odell showed me any techniques that was new.
Okay.
Okay. Even some of the disarms, I was already familiarized with them. It was just, okay, well, this disarm, instead of it being coming from an angle 1, we're doing it from an angle 2 this on this system, you know. So it wasn't like the disarms was really brand new. They weren't really brand new, you know. And like I said, it wasn't like the techniques were new.
Gotcha.
But what he did was he told me, he said, you have it, but I'm going to show you how to use it in my system.
All right. Okay.
So that was what really impressed me. He showed me, and he and I, we had a one-to-one talk. And I told Jim, I said, you know, Jim, I told him, I said, I don't need the system. I don't need the system, but I want the system.
I don't need it, but I want it. And they wanted
and he was honest. He said, well, I know you don't need it.
Yeah.
He said, but I know you must want it because you're here. So that's how we really continue to train. And he's my teacher, but he's also my friend and a great funny guy.
You know what I mean? They become your teacher, then before you know it turns into brothers and friends. And so 2018, obviously he's going back to the Philippines. So you're going over there shortly thereafter to see him, or?
No, we would continue to talk on the phone.
Oh, okay, all right.
And he would send me little videos of things, and he would send me videos of some of his disarms and some of the other gurus over there, like Guru Bert, Guru Lando. These guys were sending me video clips of all the disarms, and I'm looking, I'm like, well, I know that disarm. I know this disarm,
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, disarm 8. That's disarm number 4 in Blink to Walk, Okay. So it wasn't like,
like you were like you're looking at something from ground up, or I got
right. So it was very easy for me to adapt to it. And even when it came down to his Decadenas and his Sangabatamas, which is his empty hand, and what people don't realize that in the smoking stick system, there is signature movements or signature things in the system. His Grandmaster Odell's signature, I will tell you right now, these are his signature things. His classical striking, his smoking stick or DOS 7 striking, his Decadenas, as well as his Sangabatamas. Those are his signature things because these are stuff that he developed and created and formulated. Yes. Yeah. This is this is the meat and potatoes of the system. The disarms, yes, he has a lot of disarms, 36, but a lot of the disarms are not something that's really quite brand new. They're either the same disarms or they're variation of that.
Or they're just done off different angles, like you mentioned.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Or it might be done low or you're done high. So that's
all right. Okay. I got a question for you, because this has come up from time to time in interviews. So, and here's my argument, and I'm interested to get your perspective. Is that if you have a thorough background in something, like you know what I mean, like you've been immersed in this particular. We'll use the example like your stick work, and now you meet this gentleman. And we'll use GM Rodell, and he's showing other stuff. I think there's an argument that with your extensive background regarding anybody, that you can get the gist of what they're doing through them sending you videos and then tap into that to what they want you to do and then maybe further expound on your own expression or whatever. But the bottom line is it can be done with a very thorough background. What say you on that?
You are absolutely 100% correct, my friend.
Okay.
Yes. Now, could that work? Could that same thing work for someone who does not have that type of background?
Unless they're
It
just
can,
so
but be very
acute.
difficult. Very
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. I
Very
agree.
difficult.
I agree.
But
Possible.
yeah,
but
that's why I
difficult.
say it's very difficult. I didn't say it
Yeah.
wasn't. I just said
Yeah,
very
yeah.
difficult.
No, fair enough.
You know, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I got almost 51 years of studying.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
many
right. That's
systems
my
in martial
point. I
arts.
mean,
Yeah,
you know, you've seen
that it
51
wasn't
years
like I
of
said.
body
When I
count.
started seeing, him. When I started seeing these Sangapatamas and all this, and then I'm seeing, the Decadenas with the elbows and the strikes and all this, and I'm like, this is easy.
Yeah.
And so I was at Tuhan Bobby Ladra's seminar. Not it was maybe earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I showed the Sangapatamas as well as the Decadenas, but then I showed how you can take the Sangapatamas and how you can combine it with the Decadenas. And it was like, wow. Now I have a student also who's he just does strictly Sanukas Rule Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
I didn't tell him. I just said, let me show you something. Yeah. And I said, what was that? He said, Sanukas Rule Jiu-Jitsu. I said, no, it wasn't. That was smoking stick. Because the same flow was there.
Okay. Gotcha.
When he saw me doing the Sangapatamas and adding in the Decadence, I'm going here, flipping over, and then I'm coming up, dropping it, and then he was like, that's Sanukas. I'm like, no, that's smoking stick. Because the flow was so identical. It was so easy. Yeah. It was nothing new. But yeah, you're right. Someone with an extensive background with many years, it becomes.
I think so. I've
easy.
seen it. Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen it happen. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you, in other words, like for me, it's my major's knife, and I was able to pick up Piper and Medusa because, you know what I mean. But much to your point, had I not had a significant knife background, there probably would have been some issues, right? Here we got some of your folks saying hello, I believe. We got Catherine K. Guns from Florida. Lawrence Rawlings, I think he's one of your guys, right?
He's one of my students, yes.
There we go. Louis Lindo.
Oh, Miss Karen. Hello, Miss Karen.
We got
She's one of my students as well, yes. Okay.
We got Phil Crew from England, and we got our mutual buddy.
And and Tom remember that because he was getting married. Look, you know what? I have nothing but love for Tom. Tom came to that seminar and was getting married in a few hours.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, I'm a fan of Tom. Yeah, actually, I gotta get him on the show. Actually.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, he really is. I have no argument here. Okay, we're gonna go into deep now, and we already, you kind of touched upon it a bit, but before we go deep into smoking sticks and the system, what it covers, the different weapon configurations, all that. We kind of touched upon this yesterday in the test run. The difference between DAS and smoking sticks. Let's hear it.
The difference between DAS and smoking stick.
Sure. If there is. Or one preceded one another, or you were alluding to kind of familiar versus.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I told you I was gonna give it to you straight with no chaser, right?
I know, and I said, man, sometimes I need a chaser. Just saying.
Okay, this is what it is. DAS, the Group Arnie system.
Yeah.
That is basically at this point it is the name of the organization.
More umbrella like?
Yes. The initial system was called Smoking Stick.
Got it.
This is the system that Grandmaster Rodell de Goop had developed and was calling it. Okay. But due to his family name, he wanted to have something as a legacy to his children And so he said, we'll make sure that they have this. He decided to create this organization called DOS, the Group Arnie System. So now, what is the difference between the two? Nothing.
Okay, so far as like actual physical content, drills,
Nothing.
what have you,
Nothing.
no difference. One is more umbrella. One was an original term to use, and maybe to get marketing, whatever the reason was. Now the DOS, kind of the umbrella term of his system, and that with his name in it.
Correct.
Okay, makes sense.
And I always like to use this analogy, Dean, with a car. Yeah. The very first car that Honda came out with was called a Honda.
Yeah.
And then Honda created what? The Civics?
The Civics of that, yeah.
And then they created another one, I can't remember, but they have different vehicles now.
Yeah.
But they still are
Hondas.
Right. So you say, well, you have a Civic, Accord? Yeah.
Accord.
But at the same time, is it still a Honda? Yes.
Yeah.
So smoking stick, is it DOS? Absolutely. When you're looking at it from a organizational, but I'm teaching it under the styles, the system's name of smoking stick, because that was the original name that Grandmaster Odell DeGoop was using.
It's kind of catchy too. I mean, to be honest, smoking.
And he actually wrote that. I have official letter that he actually wrote to me, authorizing me to use that name of smoking sticks.
Okay. All right. So, right. Okay. Let's hear it. Smoking sticks. Okay. So, we just got that Datu again showed up. By the way, smoking sticks was Odell's nickname because it was the sticks would smoke while doing Sinawali's. Okay, that makes sense.
Damn it, Tim! You took my light.
Oh no! All right, so let's hear it. Like, I guess, obviously they cover sticks. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
But does he cover? Let's go into. Well, take it away. Like, as far as like the weapon configurations, the model, I mean, whatever he's teaching.
Smoking sticks deals with double and single sticks.
Okay.
It deals with blade. Basically, it deals with more of your knife, not so much
more
of your
knife oriented than sword. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Now you'll see him use like the bolo. He knows how to use that. And to some people, he will teach and show the bolo methods of fighting with it. But normally, it's basically single, double sticks, knife, and empty hands, which consist of his decadenas, which means decadenas means chain of techniques, and your Sangabatama, which means your block punch techniques.
So your simultaneous block punches. Okay, those.
Yes. And Dane, you can appreciate this because in the Sangabatama, they use a lot of the Jeet Kune Do or Wing Chun punches up front. They go here. Yes. So you can appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. So that and he also has in his system a lot of different stick locks, but as well as joint locks. And that's the thing that I was telling you, when I looked at the joint locking empty hands, I'm like, does he know jujitsu? Because the way he was executing these joint locks. So yeah, I find, and he uses a lot of knee techniques, and he also has kicking in his system. So that's why I was saying it's a very complete system, because you can use double sticks, you can use single, you can use a knife, you can use a lot of empty hands, you can use the knees, he uses elbows.
Knee, headbutts. Okay.
Yeah, he incorporates the entire body to be the weapon. So yeah.
Back to the lock now. So obviously we know he trained with GM Remy. And I know he kind of obviously evolved this system outside of the pure modern East lens.
Mm-hmm.
Was a lot of the core drills or stuff like that a derivative from modern Nice, or did he kind of put his own spin and stuff on it? Universally speaking, I guess, as far as his curriculum.
Well, I will say this. He comes from modern Arnis.
Okay.
Okay. Well, some people will dispute this, but I will say, well, if you dispute it, take it up with Grandmaster Odell. But he stated that he, along with Grandmaster Jerry Dela Cruz, are both 8th degrees that was promoted by the founder himself.
Yeah.
Now, going back to your question,
yeah.
I'm sure initially that Smoking Stick had a lot of modern Arnis in it.
Okay.
But over the years, while Grandmaster Remy Pracer was gone.
Over in America. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, and I always tell people that some people may have a heartburns with it. They may say, well, it's nothing but a derivative of modern Arnis. And I will say, no, it's not. Because the same way that Grandmaster Remy Pracer developed many different techniques and skills to develop modern Arnis, so did Grandmaster Odell DeGoop.
Gotcha. Right.
And if we are to say that Smoking Stick or DOS is a derivative of modern Arnis, then I would say, well, is modern Arnis a derivative of Balinktuwak?
That's a good point. I mean, it's no secret. I came to know that just by virtue of doing these shows. It wasn't like I was hardly an expert on either of them, and still not. But definitely, it's been brought up numerous times how there is absolutely Balinktuwak influence in modern Arnis in there, and so back to the drill. So are the drills? So he obviously has a count and all that. What could you tell the folks that are watching? All right, two-part question, because I got Phil's question in here. Okay. Give us, for far as I guess the methodology of the system, how to get a student acclimated to the system. And we'll use drills as I guess the vehicles. And what is your favorite drill?
The first question, how do you get students acclimated?
Yeah, I mean, is the drills the vehicle as far as the student get acclimated to the methodology, give and takes, I guess, or whatever?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That is, I mean, that's like the main thing,
Gotcha.
The drills.
Okay.
Once you get, as a student gets acclimated with the drills, now they start learning how do we really apply it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, to your second question was, what was one of my favorite?
Yeah, I guess so Phil's question is like, what's your favorite drill to do or teach?
My favorite drill to teach are the Song of Batamas.
Oh, so you really are digging the empty hand aspect.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because the flow is so familiar to jiu-jitsu with where I came from, and from there it's like as I was showing. Matter of fact, this past Saturday, the young lady that was on, Karen, I was showing her. I said, "This is the drill, but now let me show you what I call the real." And then we start showing all the different variations and how you can apply it in so many ways. I had one teacher years ago tell me, said, one technique, you can create hundreds from it. So the thing about the Song of Batamas, it allows me to just open up a plethora of things.
Okay.
So with the drills, I show the students and get them acclimated with the drills. But once they understand and know how to apply the drills, now it's like, let's now show you how to apply it in a realistic manner. Let's just open it up now. See, so and that's the fun part for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can see that just by just how you're getting, you're obviously enthused and you can see the passion coming out of you. What do you allow for your students? It seems like, and I'm going to guess yes to this because it just based on me hearing you, when you're going from that, okay, they memorize first take a pattern. They're starting to do it. They're getting the flow down. They're being on time. They're in the moment, cadence, all that. Is there allowance for self creativity and all that? As long as it's not starting to look like Taekwondo or starting to go out into the hemisphere that you're not sure what you're looking at. I got to tell you this. This is where this came from. So I teach Piper Knife, and I tell my students, I say, look, don't you dare try to look like me. I go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm taller end, I'm long, I play the half moon around. I said, I want you to do what fits your body and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I go,
Mm-hmm.
long as it doesn't start to look like, Taekwondo or something, or I'm not sure what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? But so,
Right.
and now we got that out of the way. Is that applicable in what you do?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, that's
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I've told many of my students, don't try to be me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They get lost in there.
Yeah.
It's like
Be you. Be
biggest asset between the ears, right?
Yeah. I want you to take what I'm giving you,
Yeah.
and I want you to express it how you see it, how you want to bring it out. Because I come with a different way. And matter of fact, some of my students was talking about that Saturday. We was talking about these Song of Batamas, and they were like, we notice when you do your blocks, you don't just, and they say when you're doing it, you're like covering up in your bang, and so, and I'm like, well, yes, I'm doing it's my expression, my flow.
Right. And it still resembles and looks like what you were given. You're just putting your own, the influence could be your body type. The influence could be your past experience. This is what I tell my students. I go, but I want you to be you. Here's the other thing too, what people don't leave it. I sometimes they don't consider. I tell my students, I want you to be you, because you might come up with something I didn't even think about. And I'm going to look at it. And I'm going to be like, wow, man, that was exceptional. How'd you come up with that? If you don't mind, I'm going to borrow that, but give you full credit for it. You know what I mean? Like they could actually come up with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a phrase says, teacher the student, student the teacher. Many times I'm still learning by teaching.
Yeah. Oh, we got some comments coming. Oh, okay. So Datu is basically solidifying right here what you just said in his comment. And it came from honor, but evolved to become its own art. Can't argue that. All right, I'm just catching up with the comments, Master. Here we go. Question did come in. See, I got to start paying attention more. How much do you think that your boxing base has influenced your approach and understanding of all your other martial arts?
It influenced quite a bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
quite a bit. And I've taken that boxing, and believe it or not, that boxing I never got rid of it. I never put it down. Yeah. I've kept it with me, and I took it in every system of combat that I've trained in.
Yeah.
So it influenced quite a bit. Yes.
Yeah.
From
boxing
the movement,
base, man. If you got a good boxing base, that like there's a few things.
And mind you, Dean, not only did my uncle train me,
yeah,
I was boxing in the Army. I was Fort Gordon, Georgia's post lightweight boxing champion.
Yeah.
I was an alternate for the All-Army boxing team.
Yeah. So you had some skill. You had a skill set.
Yeah. No doubt. And I still keep the footwork, the movements. And once again, when I got with Grandmaster Odell, even in his system, he incorporates the movements and slipping of the punching. And I'm like, this is up my alley. I was loving it.
You've been doing it since God knows how. Yeah. I think boxing, for like a common denominator, I think there's like a few essentials to have, like that really will help you perpetuate, regardless of what art you're going into. And I just feel this way. Like, and boxing is one of them. Good, just solid clinch, grab, wrestling upstairs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that, I think those two combined, man, can get you far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very true. A lot of variations can be applied in so many ways. Yeah. Oh my God, this is my student here. My Piper looks like Tourette's on meth. Eric. Oh, that is Too funny. And we got Catherine Guns beat you. Absolutely. Right? It's most important.
Correct.
They're coming in, Master. I'm trying to keep up with these comments. We got Patrick here. And we got another question in. Here we go.
Hello, Patrick.
Yeah, another good guy. All right, here we go.
Mhm.
Wait. Here it is. Okay. And this is from Phil. How much has your footwork changed with FMA systems than your boxing movements have had it in the past? Just want to make sure that's coming across correctly. How much have your boxing footwork changed with FMA systems that your boxing movements have had in the past? Trying to understand. I'm not missing. All right. Phil, can you just give more clarity in your question? I know you're saying as far as how much the footwork changed with FMA systems than your boxing movements have had in the past. Are you getting it?
I don't want to, but I think Phil is saying, and I think he's saying, has my footwork changed from the boxing versus studying FMA? I hope, is that what you're saying, Phil?
Well, that's correct. Then let us know. But I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let him just go with this. Right. So go, and then he'll.
Phil, if you're saying has my FMA footwork made my boxing footwork change? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good man. Okay, I thought so. Okay. Well, you know what's funny? I would say it really didn't change a whole lot. And reason being, because we need to understand about FMA. FMA is what I call like a good pot of gumbo. It has so many influences in there.
China, Japan, Spanish.
From China, Japan, even from America, from boxing itself. Yeah. It's so many influences that the Philippines has had on them that you'll see a lot of that in there, you know. So a whole lot really, it didn't really change that much, you know. Even when it came down to the footwork doing a V-stepping and I'm slipping punches, that was boxing, you know. So when I'm over there, he's got me stepping back, doing leaning and slipping, and that was all boxing to me.
Yeah.
Even though it was FMA, but neither one of them was any different. They was all the same to me.
Yeah, FMA maybe did some borrowing or vice versa, right?
Yeah. And you know what, Dane, to be honest with you, all systems over the years have done that.
I've done some borrowing, right?
Yeah.
They just never returned, but they definitely did
right. And what was funny, a lot of places, a lot of systems, they never tell you the truth. Well, we really kind of got this from, you find a lot of Okinawan Japanese stylists. They won't tell you a lot of those high kicking that you got really was from the Koreans, you know.
Everybody, come on now. The Koreans, you want to kick high? Go see the Koreans.
Right.
Here we go. Oh, we got a question from Lawrence, your student. Here it is. Okay. So, sir, how important is it to have a written curriculum?
It is extremely important to me.
Especially when you get older.
I'm only speaking on my behalf. I think it's very important because it allows the students to have a building block.
Yeah.
I'm not one for coming and saying, well, today off the top of my head, I'll teach this or I'll teach that. I feel that you should have a curriculum so that way, not only do you as an instructor have a building block, but the students understand the requirements on where they're going and how to get there.
Yeah. Kind of a roadmap, if you will, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. You know, the problem is, I was having this conversation actually the other day with somebody, just 2 days ago, and it was regarding knife, and I'm not gonna say the systems, but you know that there's been some over codifying in some of these systems, and they kind of, as far as you know, the intent or you know, and what they were intended use per se, and all that. Mm-hmm. So I guess when I'm bringing this up, and only that, I think it's really important to have something written. You know, one day be passed on to people to carry out the system. Number one, so they have something tangible. but they're always, making sure you're not going over codified, and it's kind of losing what happens out there. You know what I mean?
See, I was getting ready to go there and
Oh, I'm
speak
sorry.
about that.
I did it. I pulled the Tim Hartman on you. I'm sorry.
Because you're right, though, Dean. You're absolutely correct. And having that curriculum allows for everyone to have that structure to move it down the line. But it's like that old thing where when you say he's wearing a blue shoes and it passed down, by the time you get to the end, it's purple shoes.
Yeah.
So
what happened?
right. So that curriculum allows you to keep that system, and I mean,
I think so.
And it's nothing wrong adding to the system.
Yeah, evolve.
But because the system is going to evolve, but you must maintain the integrity of the core of the system.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Right.
You can't turn around and say I'm teaching modern Arnese and what you're teaching is Pakiti Terja.
No, right. And you're so right. And I think sometimes having a codified, not over codified, but codified on paper like that gives the passage of time to others so they can keep the integrity of the system. So it's not starting to look like you say something else.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Because now it no longer becomes Grandmaster Odell's system. It becomes your system.
Whatever. Yeah. And it's an ugly hybrid or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a question from Tom, your man. Here we go. Did Jim Rodell already have a written curriculum, or did you organize your own based on his material? Good question.
Good damn question, Tom. I love it. Okay, absolutely, he did. Yes, he did. It was on his daughter's laptop, and unfortunately, when she passed away, they really couldn't locate that curriculum.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. So what he did was he authorized me to formulate a curriculum. Now, just because I formulated it doesn't mean he didn't look at it. No, he looked at it and said, okay, this is good. And then he actually even added a few extra things in there. Yeah. So believe me, that curriculum that we have today that we're using is not my curriculum. No, sir. It is his curriculum. I just wrote it up and he authorized it and approved it. So it's
you just brought some structure to it and just
yes.
Yeah. All right. So now you met him 2018. You're talking on the phone. He's sending you videos. You, of course, have gone over there during this time to present day and all that. When did you get the green light and the okay to start teaching it?
How can I put this? I was teaching it not unofficially.
Okay.
Because no one was getting promoted, nothing like that. It was just unofficially.
You're just kind of showing just so you can better. Yeah, okay.
Right. Now, I would also say this. People said to me, do you feel like you need to go to the Philippines?
Yeah.
There are so many wonderful FMA practitioners here in America and other countries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. But what I got was more of the customs and culture of it. And I always tell people, when you go to someone else's country to understand the customs and culture, it kind of gives you a better understanding on why they did what they did and what they do.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot over there. So yeah, that was a great trip to experience because it wasn't just so much me, swinging sticks and knives and knees and elbows and all that. It was the culture and the custom that was really intriguing to me.
That's what I want to see when I go over there.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love it over there. The people in the country, it's beautiful. And my students and I, we're going over there this September.
I know you're telling me. Wow. Yeah. It's the thing. It's not that I wouldn't want to see some folks over there for us teachers. 100%, absolutely. It's just well as they're great teachers here, there in Europe and what have you. But yeah, like mine would definitely, the culture would just be just as much up there as far as like seeing the who's who. Now, if we went back early 90s, or then my answer would be different. It would be seeing the guys who are still alive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so
Yeah.
much on the culture. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You
Right.
know, like, yeah, I'm seeing those streets of them. I know, but yeah. All right, so here we go. So we're kind of into your teaching. All right. What do you separate? So when you're teaching FMA, and I don't know if you teach it separately from everything else, but regards to FMA, do you teach Balintawak separate from smoking sticks, or those who might want to, hey, I want to be in the Balintawak lane, or they're getting kind of, oh, okay.
No, I teach nothing but smoking stick.
Oh, you're not. Also, you put Balintawak. What if somebody came up to you though and they were interested in Balintawak?
I have some good friends of mine in Maryland that teach Balintawak, and I
Oh, you would refer them to them, but
yeah,
you're
yeah,
sticking
I sure would, yeah.
All right, okay. No, that's admirable. All right, nothing wrong with that. You want to stick and teach this, and yeah. What's your ranking structure? What is the ranking structure? I guess. Well, maybe
It's
I don't know if you're using smoking.
white. It goes white, yellow, green, brown, and then black. Then it goes to first degree black, second degree black.
Nice. So white belt, they're coming in. So, like, all right, take me. I guess white. I'm sorry. The first belt was yellow. I'm sorry. After white.
The first belt is white belt.
White belt. After white, then they go to
yellow, and then we go
yellow.
to green,
yeah.
and then
So what
brown.
are they getting? I guess what's the emphasis right in the beginning? I come in. I'm a white belt. I'm coming in like what is it? They're just getting basic mechanics and
They're getting number one. They're learning how to properly hold the stick.
okay.
They're learning the names of these strikes. So when we're executing stuff, they're learning. Okay, this is a ocho ocho. This is reverse ocho ocho. This is a banda banda. This is a tasababa. This is a rampita. This is palantic. This is abanico strikes. So they're learning these names of the strikes. Then from there, they start learning how to do the classical striking of smoking stick, and then the smoking stick DOS 7 striking as well. And then from there, they start learning your 12. You learn your 12 strikes. Then you learn how to do what they call your 12 strikes block and counter. And then from there, we started mixing it up. We don't just go 1, 2, 3. After they learn how to block and counter, then we start mixing it up, and we're going from 1 to 9, from 9 to 7. And they learn how to block. And then they also learn how to block from a largo as well as a quarto range, because if I'm certain, depending on the range, if someone gives me a angle 5 stab, well, can I turn my stick down? Well, I can do that if I got that long range. We're doing largo, but if you're doing quarto, if you're up close to me, I may not have that leisure to turn the stick down and go on this block. So I may just have to go here, block, and come right back.
All right.
So that's the point. So I teach them there are ranges of combat, and you need to know what type of blocks you can execute for these type of ranges.
Pending the range. Gotcha.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What's your Ron Pita? I'm just curious. What's your Ron? Is your Ron Pita up straight up and down?
No, that's Tasa Baba. Ron Pita is where we would come down, whether we had stick or blade, we come down, and then the hand turns, and the blade is still showing. So it's down. Up. Yes.
Okay.
That's Ron Pita.
All right. So yeah, that's in KI. All right. Okay. As we're moving off to the right.
Yeah. Now Tasa Baba is where we just go straight down and come right up.
Oh, straight down and right back up. I got it.
Yes.
That would be our box sock.
Okay.
All right. Okay. It's nice. I'm just curious. When I see other people use the same, I'm always just curious, like what they. Question from Datu. Datu also found it funny that I pulled a Tim on you.
How many U.S. schools?
Our training centers. Okay.
Are you talking about in smoking stick only? Because if you're talking about smoking stick only, we have, I guess you want to call that a training group in Chicago. We have a training group in Atlanta, Georgia. we have the training group up in New York.
Okay. And so,
And
all right. So training,
I tend to travel to these places to teach.
okay, so you're kind of overseeing, teaching, help them
Yes.
kind of evolve, come to their
Yes.
own. Okay.
Just like I
Okay.
was telling you on the 29th, I'll be going to New York.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a seminar, but after the seminar, we're doing an examination.
Right. Okay. Okay. Nice. So, all right. So then, but so is it fair to say, are you kind of heading the way far as US is concerned, far as smoking stick?
If you want to say that, yes, yes.
No, yeah, let's say it. Yeah, if you're the man.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the one right now responsible for promoting smoking stick and pushing it out as much as I can. I have some wonderful brown belts. They're going to kind of help relieve some of that pressure off of me by taking over most of the teaching here in Maryland, which will allow me to have more freedom to spend time with my guys up in New York and my guys in Atlanta and my guys over in Chicago. So that's going to free up a lot of my time, which I'm looking forward to.
That's all. Well, good on you. Yeah, that you're actually making a concerted effort to, spread this about. I mean, that's,
well, Dean, I will tell you this. Grandmaster Odell sat me down and asked me, he said, listen, I would really love for you to go back to America and spread my system. And I said, absolutely, no problem, sir. And that's what I did. The moment I came back to America, in May. And I think around the end of May, I was in New Orleans. And then I went to North Carolina. And then I came back up. Yeah, so I hit the ground running. Yeah.
Good for you. It absolutely shows, and it sounds like you're gaining momentum, and you're starting to resonate, obviously, with the community. I mean, that's wow. So I mean, good for you doing that. I mean, God, wouldn't that stink if it kind of just fell through the cracks and there was nobody here perpetuating in the U.S., right? I mean, that would.
I love the system. I think it's a wonderful system, and I think more should be exposed to it, and so. As much as I can, I'm going to do my best to continue to spread the system. Yeah.
Sounds like you're doing it. I mean, so,
thank you.
All right. What do you, aside from the physical content and this and that, what do you try to instill in your students overall in regards to their journey? I want you out there to be killers. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
What I really want for people to be really at the end of their journey, whatever their end of it is, whether it's brown belt, Lacan, or Lacan 1, 2, whatever their end of their journey would be, I just want them to realize that a couple of things. One, that they have trained in a very good system and they have some good tools to use. Two, to be good people.
Yeah,
see,
amen.
I listen, Grandmaster Odell is a wonderful person who's got a generous, beautiful heart.
Yeah.
I want them to reflect the same spirit as the founder of the system.
Yeah.
Not be bragging and being out here and showing off, not wanting to try to hurt anybody, but just be a good human being. Like we was talking about yesterday. I said, no, I'd rather have more friends than enemies.
No, my gosh. Yeah, I know. It's
Alex, my man, thank you. How you doing, brother? I pray all is well with you, buddy.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh, Alex.
Alex Amaza.
Who's that? Who's Alex?
He's my Blink Walk brother down in North Carolina.
I'm just kidding. I know Alex.
Yeah. Great guy.
Danny Terrell, good day from man. This guy just travels all over the place. This Danny Terrell, who does he think he is? And we got what else is Alex saying? You run everything by me. Jim Odell is an amazing human being. One day I'll have to share the story of how he and I and the other luminaries that I won't mention just yet went to a cockfight on Coney Island. It was an incredibly entertaining time. I think we need to talk, Alex. Set up a time. I'm here for you. And we got Danny Terrell, humility and integrity. Yeah.
I love it, Alex. Alex, I'm gonna have to talk to GM Rodell about that one.
I have concerns. and I would like to, and I would like GM Houdel to hear my concerns regarding Alex.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So, all right, I think that's incredible what you want your students. Yeah, right. At the end of the day, man, just be a good person. Like treat others the way you would want to be treated.
Correct.
Be respectful, humble. Try to go out your way to help folks when you
Yes.
can. Don't be
Yes.
passive aggressive or negative,
Mhm.
much like in our community. I hate to say it, right? Or just make videos about people and that
And for the love of God, Dean, can people just listen?
And they're usually the ones that are really not that good either.
We're all different, Dean. And for the love of God, can we stop being so super critical of other people? Because you know what, Dean, at the end of the day, what may not work for you might work for me. So let's stop being so critical of each other. Cut out all this political bull crap. Okay. And get together and share in our knowledge instead of trying to put each other down, playing like I'm better than you, my system is better, or what you're doing doesn't make sense, or what you're saying. Stop all that crap. Okay. Please, for the love of God.
I know. It's ridiculous, but some are good. Some would do it. I think for the most part, obviously the Muslims community are good. Obviously the bad apples really stand out because they're doing something to draw negative attention.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, you make a video on your wall and all this saying that. Clearly, you're doing it for attention because half it's probably garbage in the first place. and that, it's going back to like we were talking about in the test run. It's like, do what makes you happy. Regardless, like the analogy that we were talking about yesterday. It's like, if you're using this for sparring to address some anxiety or fear issues, fantastic. And it's helping with that, phenomenal. If you're using this because it gets you off the couch and you're not thinking about suicide anymore,
by all means, go for it. Yeah.
Like who's the hell to say is what you should do or shouldn't do? And I mean, I'm with you. And Catherine, Eric, can we all just get along?
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Potentially, right? Yeah. Catherine, amen. We love what we love. We should celebrate the unity and share love of FMA.
I love what Thai Boating does. PG Thai Boating has an event. I love it because there's so many different systems coming together. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing. I'm a fan of Thai. I just think he's one of the good ones. Yeah, no question. All right. Oh, we got another question from your student, Lawrence. Sir, what do you think makes for a good instructor? This is a good question.
I'll tell you this, Lawrence.
Good question, Lawrence.
What makes for a good instructor?
Yeah.
When that instructor wants his or her student, he wants more for them than he wants for himself.
Yeah.
Okay. See, if the instructor always wants to be in the limelight, and no, I want you to shine. It's not about my light. I want my students to shine.
The student being most important. Yeah.
Because when my students shine, I shine anyway.
There you go. It's going to be a reflection on you, right?
I want so much for my students. And sometimes I think, Dean, I'm guilty by saying sometimes I think I want more for them than they want for themselves.
Yeah, no, I think that no. I think that's actually common. I really do, and I think for numerous reasons. One, I think there's some self-doubt with them. Two, they don't really realize how important, significant they are to you. They feel that they should be overshined by you, the teacher, when you're actually not. So I think that's common. I really do, and I think it's our job to kind of instill in them that they're the most important piece in this puzzle. It's not the system or the teacher. It's like you, because I mean, without you, the students, we wouldn't be having anybody to teach or spread.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah.
So I agree with you, Danny. Just be careful with that dim Bronco. I think it's too late, Danny. Burton said, because I'm carrying the ball. They go after the guy carrying the ball. And I guess Burton says, you're carrying the ball. So Whatever that exactly means. I'll leave it at that. All right. So, okay. Got a question here from Phil. Best part of the system, not drill. Overall, best part of the system you like teaching. I know you mentioned as far as techniques, like you were really on the empty hand. I guess it could be the same answer, but yeah. But he's saying, what part of the system that you like best teaching?
I would say the decadenas,
Yeah.
because that allows me to kind of like just open up and give these elbow techniques and punches. So I love teaching the decadenas, but I love showing the Sanghabatamas because of the flow that it has. That
The body.
Sanghabatama has beautiful flow.
Okay. Okay.
So when you have that kind of flow in it, then yeah, I love that part. Yeah.
All right. No. And just so folks know, I did not pay Eric to say this. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's a good question. Even though you don't, you're kind of in the smoking sick lane, not teaching blank to walk anymore. But Alice's question is.
Oh, that's a good question, Alex.
And he just redeemed themselves from the cockfighting story. No, just kidding. How has your Balintawak complemented your training in smoking sticks and vice versa? Good question.
Okay. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Alex, and I love that question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love Balintawak. When it comes to Corto fighting or Corto playing,
kind of hard to beat, right?
I bowed. You see me, Alex. I bow down. Okay,
you're in it, right?
And that Balintawak training did immensely for me. It did so much for me. I mean, I cannot lie. It gave me such a strong foundation, Alex, in Balintawak that it was easier for me to translate it and bring it over into smoking stick.
Okay.
Even when it comes down to the stick play.
Gotcha.
When it came down to stick play, as I was playing with some of the gurus over there, Alex, we were having fun doing a lot of Largo playing with sticks. But when I ended up closing the gap and I got close, I cannot lie to you, Alex. I automatically fell back into that Balintawak close quarters stuff with the puños and striking and lifting and clearing. So I did. I cannot lie. I'm going to be honest with you, Alex. It was a natural thing, and it blended so well with what I had from the smoking stick. So yes, they kind of like go together like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich, my friend.
There we go. And peanut butter and jelly is pretty good. All right, that was good question. Actually, no, it's so funny. When I went down there, I was hoping to have more time with him because I really wanted him to show me some Balintawak. Like I wanted to kind of just be in there and feel it, and there. So hopefully, if I ever see him again, I'll get to play around with Alex with that. Okay, this came from a question yesterday during the test run. Okay, coach or GM, as far as your perception of self. What do you think? You think you're more? Remember, we were kind of talking about this yesterday. The whole, like I didn't get to notice that coach. He went from like kind of the, So what do you? I mean, like, what do you construe yourself like? Are you seen as an instructor, a master, or a coach, or maybe all the above? I don't know.
Listen, okay. Here's the reality of it. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a teacher. And I could be a coach, but reason why I don't use coach, because coach is geared more for sports. Although I have nothing wrong with that title. Yeah. I just don't use it because I don't consider what I teach as a sport. But coaches are teachers. A lot of coaches have taught people a lot of skills for life other than outside that sports arena. So coaches are teachers. They just use that word coach in the sporting arena. But I have no problem with any of those titles, coach, teachers. Now, let me say this about the title Grandmaster.
Okay.
I feel like, first of all, I don't like that title Grandmaster.
Okay.
I have been promoted to that title by my teacher in Tong Sudo as well as in Hapkido. But I really don't like to use it. But I do use it for the simple fact that there are a lot of people that just throw some crap together and say, I'm a Grandmaster.
Tell me why else. Okay, let's go back to the reason though, because I'm generally interested in hearing this. You don't like you accepted it because it was gifted upon you. They felt you were deserving of this, and etc. Why don't you, other than what the others do, you personally, why don't you like it? The title?
Because listen, Grandmaster, masters, you cannot master something that is bigger than yourself, Dean. It was there before you, and it'll be there after you, my friend.
That is profound. That is one of the top. I got like top 3 statements that like been said. Ray Galong said one, a couple others. I got them written down somewhere, but I think you made. I think you made the top 5 for sure. That is, yeah, it's so funny. Like I hate being called guru. I gotta be honest with you. It's just Dean. I was born Dean. I don't need a prefix before my name. I certainly don't ever want master before my name because I feel like there's so much more for me to learn and experience and be exposed to. And I look at myself as the forever student. And like I would, having, and I saw folks that, they're being courteous. I get it. They're being respectful in that, but I certainly will never consider myself like, a master. If somebody wants to call me that, politeness.
Now, is there a need for it? In a lot of ways, it is though. And I say that
for
because,
separation, for degrees of separation.
Well, I say it for the purpose of the growth of the system.
Okay, all right.
Someone may say, "Well, the Grandmaster is the creator and founder of the system." Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
But then you say, "Well, there's a lot of other Grandmasters in the same system," and I tell them, you can only have one Grandmaster of the system.
That's a whole. I tell you, that's a whole nother juggernaut. Like, okay, Grandmaster.
But Dean, I will say this: you can have a Grandmaster of the system.
Okay.
But you can also have many Grandmasters in the system.
They're just lower than the.
Yes.
Than Yoda. So you got Yoda.
Right. A Grandmaster of the system is the creator of the system.
Gotcha.
But being a Grandmaster in the system does not say that you're a Grandmaster of the system.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I say this also. If that title was only going to be used for only one person, now you have a problem with growth. Because guess what? That Grandmaster is a 9th degree or maybe even a 10th. He passes away. The next man up might be a 7th or 8th degree. Who's going to promote him and bring him up to Grandmaster?
I definitely understand the chain effect. Like you're going to need that if you're going to keep perpetuating rank, and for those who to covet the system and be able to teach it and therefore propagate the art. That to me makes just logical sense. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look at. I'm not a fan of Taekwondo, really, but I respect it. I look at that. Taekwondo is everywhere. Many Grandmasters in Taekwondo, but only one Grandmaster of the system.
Yeah. And who's that?
And that was General Che.
Okay. Because I would have had no idea, and my original system black belt was Taekwondo. That shows how much
he came together. He put all nine of the Kwans together.
Gotcha.
And they called it Taekwondo, hand and feet play.
I never knew. Interesting. Okay.
Hand and feet way. And from those 9 crons,
Okay.
then they formulated and came up with their own what they call youngs or punseis, and that's how Taekwondo. And then it wasn't a World Taekwondo or International Taekwondo Federation. It was just Taekwondo.
Interesting.
So,
interesting. I never knew that. That is so interesting.
Yeah. So now you have the ITF, International Taekwondo Federation.
Okay.
You have the World Taekwondo Federation. You have the ATF. So there's many different federations and organizations with many grandmasters in it. But at the end of the day, Dean,
at the end of the day,
Taekwondo continues to grow and excel.
Yeah. It's, I mean, come on. It's like the biggest, oh, okay. Here we go. I'm just catching up on hold on, Master Terrell. I'm just going to catch up on the comments here. All right. We can do Boston. Sure. Boston, are you meaning October at, their name is escaping me now, which, I'll let you fill in the blank. But at any rate, I think you mean in Massachusetts, early October, if I'm not mistaken. Master yourself. That is most important. Yeah, can't argue that. And we got June.
My brother.
Just give me a shout out to both you gentlemen. There's a funny guy.
Brother.
June. My God. And we got Alex saying hello to some folks. And then, okay. So, Doctor saying if you're going to be a GM, you need a downstream. Okay.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Yep.
You are on point, Datu. You need a downstream. Absolutely. Correct.
So Coach Danny is saying one could be a grandmaster of a system or a grandmaster within an organization. Yeah. That's fair, right?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. You can be a grandmaster of the system, but you can have many grandmasters in the system.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, okay, the Williams. I don't know why that was escaping May Williams. I don't know why that was escaping me. All right, yeah, I would love that, Datu. Yeah. Awesome. So, okay. Okay, all right, you got some stuff coming up. You got some seminars, you're teaching, now you're going to the Philippines. So with all that being said, what are your goals for you, yourself, your students? I mean, you're going to do some traveling, you're spreading the arts. What's all the good stuff?
All I want to do is just continue to grow in the system that I'm teaching, as well as my students to continue to grow. And I'll be able to continue to promote the system to as many states and cities as I can. And by me going out here doing seminars, like I'm going up, I'm going to be doing one this coming Saturday for the United States Head of Family Martial Arts Association. I'm going to be doing something to show smoking stick there. And then on the following Saturday, I'll be up in New York at Sifu. Well, he actually just, Sifu Bernard Seaborn. I'll be up in New York at his place on the 29th, teaching a seminar there and having an examination. And then on the, I think it's 18th or 19th, I have to look at my calendar, up in New Jersey, I'll be doing a seminar there as well. And then I think, then September we go to the Philippines. Then we get back, and I have an event that's going to be happening in October. Okay. That's going to be with Tuhan Bobby Ladra and Eric. We're going to be doing something down in Maryland. And then in December the 9th, Dr. Tim and I will be doing a seminar at my place. And then I rest, well, not really rest, but at that moment, I will start working because August of 2024, I'm bringing in Grandmaster Rodel Daguk here to Maryland. Yes, sir.
So let's hear that again. So folks in
August 2024, I will be bringing Grandmaster Rodel Daguk here to Maryland. Yes.
Wow. Nice, man. Folks, to catch that. Wow. The 24th and all that. Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
and for Datu, I don't have the date yet because what we're doing is we're waiting for PAL, Philippine Airlines, to bring out their scheduling so I can schedule the flight. Right now, they don't have anything scheduled for their flights for 2024 yet. That's my
Yeah.
only holdup.
I
That's
think
why.
I think it was beyond a year. I think they don't have.
Yeah.
I
So
think. Yeah.
as soon as they put their scheduling out, Datu, I will have a date for you and everyone else, my friend. Yes, because Datu, I expect for you to be there. I want you there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Datu, I was pretty much I was asked to invite you by Grandmaster Rodell. So yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
one of your students, Bernard Seaborn, New York City, Smoking
yes,
Sticks
sir.
NYC.
Yes, he actually is one of the smoking stick groups up in New York. He's doing very well up there, and he got some people that look really good. So we'll be testing them on the 29th, I believe that is. Yeah, 29th. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So you're obviously you're moving things along. Tim Datu would like to know maybe we could set up a tour.
I'm with you, Datu. I will definitely speak to Jim about that. Yeah, because Jim actually asked me about someone spoke to him about coming to New York City doing a seminar there as well. So maybe we can put our heads together, Datu, and set up a tour for him. You know.
Oh. And Alex, great work. You're a great ambassador for FMA. Actually,
Thank you, my brother Alex. I appreciate it.
And Lawrence, I'm assuming he's talking in regards to Bernard, I think, but okay.
He might be talking to me because he knows he knows how hard I work. I mean, I go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you know, and I'm so dedicated and committed to my students, even when their schedule won't allow them to come to class. I always say, well, okay, if you want to come to my house, come to my house. We'll train at my house. So they come to my house and they're trained. So I'm always teaching.
Yeah, so you're accommodating. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Overall, okay. I always like to close this out with some folks and all that. What would you like your message to be overall to the FMA community? Like I've seen, since COVID, folks working together by virtue of Zoom, and now what I have seen absolutely though that Zoom carrying on to now folks getting together, now that COVID has kind of hopefully left us for good. But all that being said, what would you like to give for a message to the FMA community?
I would love to say this, that the FMA community overall,
yeah,
they're beautiful people. It's like their spirit and their heart they're good people.
Yeah.
They don't, you have a few bad apples, but overall, the FMA community,
that's fair. Yeah.
Good people, and I love it. They're always accommodating each other. I've gone to a Bikini Terja seminar just to show my support, and next thing they know, we were like, yo, we need you to get up on the floor and give us something. But this is your event. It's a Bikini Terja.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you can give us something, so I will give them and show them something. I mean, the respect we have for each other and the way we share with one another.
Yeah.
I love that about the FMA community, and I pray that we continue to go down that path and not allow a few bad apples to disrupt the harmonious approach that we have with each other in the FMA community.
Yeah, and I think, and for the most part, like you just said, I mean, most of people are good. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like a few bad apples, they can distract things and kind of put speed bumps in the way, and depending on what your platform is or what you're trying to achieve. But for the most part, people are definitely
yes. Oh, Jim, Renee, how you doing, my friend? Come on, stop that tea.
Do you know that guy?
Yes, I know that guy.
You know that guy, and now, have you had the privilege to watch episode 355 or episode 404?
No, not yet, no.
Okay. I think your life is not fulfilled until you watch those episodes.
Okay.
Now, this is per. They should work together. See, they should work together, let go of the politics, and watch episode 404 and 355. Coincidentally, Renee was in those episodes.
Oh goodness. Okay,
So,
well, I would definitely look forward to looking at them now. Then, okay.
I just think you haven't not. I think right now you don't, and I tell you, you don't know it yet, and you wouldn't know if it wasn't brought to your attention. But there's an aspect of your life that has not been fulfilled yet until you watch those.
Okay. Well, I want to be fulfilled, so I would look forward to watching them both.
I can't even keep a straight face saying this stuff. Oh my god! But yeah, have a few drinks, people.
Yeah.
I
I'll
like
do
to
that,
make
my
a public
friend.
announcement.
I have a San Miguel, and I'll watch them.
Yes, have a few before that, and then just open up your mind to the world of Renee.
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
And for Alex, my friend, I'm going to talk to GM Rodell about those the fighting cocks thing. I'm going to talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's again concerning. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man! Hey, well, this has been an absolute pleasure. I am so glad you decided to come on, and I'm glad we made this happen. This has been great. Very, very fun, entertaining. I'm just Terrell, my brother. When you teach with Papa in New Jersey, ask him about Tony McGregor. You'll see a different side of Total system.
Okay, I'll do that.
We had Tony on, and yeah, it was pretty incredible movement.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, definitely. And Tom, when you get a chance, just kind of remind me, because I'm getting a lot of these white hairs from somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I don't know. So I'm kind of slipping a little bit. So kind of remind me. I know I go. I think it's August the 19th. So please hit me up before then, so I can make sure I ask him that. Okay. So yes, okay. Thank you. I definitely do that.
All right. So you got homework, Tom.
Yes. Tom, you got work to do.
So hey, you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, this was a good one. I really enjoyed it. You know, anytime you can talk for over an hour and a half and laugh. And,
I didn't realize the time was. Wow, I didn't even realize the time was like that.
See?
Wow,
we see that? See?
Okay.
Flew by. Yeah. But all right, so hey, you take care. Take care of yourself.
Thank you once again, my friend. And hey, you take care of yourself. And once again, FMA community, please don't let a few bad apples ruin what we have already going, which is a lot of love and respect for each other. So thank you. Stay that way. All right.
Wow.
Okay, my friend. Take care, buddy.
All right, you take care. Bye.
All right.
And that wraps up 427. 428. I'm always having issues as of late. Who's coming on next? I think Darren Friesen. Yeah, I gotta get Darren. Getting Darren on next week, and then Maya Powell. He's got another big, huge event coming on. I mean, and then that following Sunday, a week from today, it's going to be a few guys coming on, like 3 actually, and so so we got some coming up. And but as far as during the week next week, I think it's going to be Darren. Yeah, Darren Friesen. All right, folks. Yes. Thank you for watching and tuning in as always. What's going on? We got Phil. Hello. Thanks, Dean. You've always been a class. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we don't take toxic people. Or try not to, at least. And great. And I spoke to about a discussion in a few weeks. I'm not sure. Yeah, you got to get me up to speed on that one. But anyway, if he's on Europe, hopefully you and Tom. Yes, Datu, I definitely will see you tomorrow at 8:30. Looking forward to it. All right, folks. I will see you next time. You'll see it pinned in the FMA discussion as far as who and who's coming and when. Okay. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.